Title: Soul at Heart Hair Salon. Creator: Drew Werewolf. Somewhere in Maryland. Chapter 1: The Heart It Takes. Ding, 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 goes the alarm clock. Soul slowly opens her eyes and reaches for the clock to turn it off. However, her hand accidentally knocks it to the floor, causing it to break. Well, isn't that just great? Soul mutters, looking down at the shattered clock. Soul looks over at the window. I could use a little heaven touch in here, Soul said to herself while yarning. Soul lifts her body up and takes the cover off her, laying down at the floor for her house shoes. There's one, but where's the other? Soul questions herself, looking for the other shoe. Right here. Mommy. Heart comes out from under the bed and hands the shoe to her mother. Thank you, baby, Soul said with a smile. Heart placed the shoe by her mother's feet. As she slipped her foot into it, Heart hugged Soul tightly. Good morning, Mommy, Heart chirped. Good morning to you as well, pecan pie, Soul replied. She extended her arms around Heart's body, hugging her close. Soul's lips pressed tenderly against Heart's forehead. As she rose from the bed, Soul sang, "This Little Light of Mine," and made her way to the window. Drawing back the curtains, she noticed two scarlet cardinals perched on the windowsill, chirping merrily. Ah, isn't this sweet? Our Heavenly Father has sent two of His angels to serenade us with a sweet melody to start off this blessed day, and their voices are truly beautiful, Soul exclaimed, her eyes sparkling as she watched the birds take flight. Have a safe journey, lovelies, she uttered, smiling as they soared into the sky. Mommy, it's so bright in here, Heart said, shielding her eyes with her hand. It's a touch of heaven, honey. Trust me. In a society like this, we all need a bit of it, Soul replied, a gentle laugh escaping her lips as she looked at Heart. Now, go ahead and get ready for school. I'll go make us breakfast. Soul smiled and stretched her body. Heart looked at Soul without uttering a word. What's wrong? Soul asked. Is society going to kill us? Is it not safe for us? Is that why I didn't go to school for some weeks? Heart said, her eyes fixed on Soul's. Soul met Heart's gaze. She walked over to her daughter and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Honey, we will be fine. We are strong and healthy African Americans. Whatever happens, God will be our shield and sword. And the reason why you didn't go to school for some weeks, baby, because of winter break. But now, it's over, and you can go back to schooling, friends. Perhaps even some enemies. And maybe even find a lover in a century or N. Soul spoke slowly and stops, shaking her head slightly. Then she smiled at Heart. You will be fine, trust me. Okay, Mommy. We will, Heart said, smiling back at Soul. I'll go get the uniform I ironed for you yesterday. It on the door hook, Soul said. Heart goes downstairs. She goes to the door hook and takes her uniform off. She sniffed her uniform and noticed the lavender perfume her mom have sprayed for her. Heart sniffed more and daydreams of running into a field of lavender flowers and rolling around in them. Sweet, Heart said to herself. Are you gonna sniff the perfume out that uniform or wear it to school with you? Soul looks down the stairs at Heart. Heart snaps out of her daydreaming and looks up at Soul. Sorry. Mommy. Heart holds her uniform and goes to her bedroom. She shuts the door. She sniffs it more and lays back on her bed. She lost herself in the smell of imagination. So sweet I can just taste it, Heart talks to herself. Hope you not in there still sniffing the chemicals out that uniform, said Soul. Heart hurries up and puts her uniform on. Soul steps back and looks under the door at her foot shadow movement and laughs. She places something by the door and walks away. Heart looks around for her shoes. She finds one shoe. Dang it, Heart looks around. She opens the door. Mommy, did you see my? Soul stops talking and looks down. She smiles and picks up her shoe and puts it on. Now I'm ready for show. Heart sniffed the air. She smells the smoky and grease of the bacon, the seasoning, fried eggs, spice of some food she can't identify in the air. She hears flipping sounds of the food being tossed around. She follows the smell with her nose. She trips on a step and catch her balance. Did you tie your shoes before you come rushing down here to eat? Said Soul. Heart looks down at her shoes. She walks back from the stairs and eyes it. She steps down one step. "And your hygiene?" said Soul. "Mommy," said Heart, as she storms to the bathroom. Soul laughs and makes the plates. Heart washes her face and puts on deodorant and lotion. She brushes her teeth and gargle with mouthwash. She spits it out and wipes her mouth. She washes her hands and pat dry it on a cloth and comes out the bathroom. She sniffed the air again, but this time she noticed lavender smell again. She looks back at her mom's room. She walks towards it. As she spots the perfume, she grabs a small bottle of an empty perfume and opens it up. She pours some of the lavender perfume into the empty bottle of perfume. She closes it back. Soul hears footsteps and looks up curiously. "Everything okay up there, sweetie?" Heart feels her soul leaving her body as she jumps in a panic and drops the entire bottle of lavender perfume on the ground. "That's it. I'm coming up there," Soul says, placing the plates on the table and heading upstairs. Heart hurriedly puts the mini bottle of lavender on the table and rushes out of the room to get napkins from the bathroom. As she runs back, she accidentally bumps into Soul, sending the napkins flying into the air. The impact leaves Heart feeling dizzy and lightheaded. She rubs her head and looks up, her vision still blurry, to focus on her mother's face. "Mommy, breakfast. It's ready?" Heart asks, shaking her head slightly.